All right. All right. Here we are. Here we are. We're back. I had to take down the last one because I gave away a little bit too much information about my stream, which is never a good thing to do. But we're back. And I'm going to try and manage a couple of these things, make sure that the chat is live. Looks like chat's live, but you know what? Who knows? Who knows with all of this? Let's see here. All right, keep some analytics up. No one so far in the stream, but hey, if you decide to join, please say something in the chat because, I'd like to have a conversation. Let's see here. Tried to buy some ETH with MoonPay. I think that's working, but they couldn't complete my identity check. Interesting. Could not complete because my identity verification did not go well. Oh well. I guess I'm just doing free to play this weekend. And we're going to try and buy cards later. But if you want to know why the crypto market crashed, willing to talk about all that jazz, the answer is no clue. Not a single clue. Now, one of the things that kind of sucks about this week is that they're waiting until Monday to do all the to hand out all the rewards, which means we're stuck with the same free-to-play deck that we've been playing with this entire time. And I'm not sure that it's super optimized. I would have liked to add some DO cards, instead of just this one lucky giant pangolin. But, is what it is. Maybe I'll think about building a new deck. I wonder if I could make, is there a warrior deck that I could make that works? Okay, I have one of these. Here. Do I play either of these? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, that's fine. Okay, pretty cool. So far, looks like we're adding some quality cards to our deck. Let's see here. Now, the problem is that most of the cards we're adding are not warrior cards. I guess there's some. But they're generally going to be free-to-play cards. Okay. All right, that's not bad. And so we're not going to get a ton of value out of this fella here. But maybe we'll get enough. Don't have some of the good sort of end game cards that you want. Like there's this that Dio card that's 4 cost blitz plus overkill, which is good, and we don't have that in our deck because it's free to play. So what else would we add if we wanted to just do a really quick deck that trades well? I guess I'll throw this in here. We'll throw in some buffs. Make it really, really early. Is this worth throwing in there? I guess I have it, so maybe it is. Maybe not. We'll see. I want rush cards, but given that I don't have them, or blitz cards, let's see. Are there other blitz cards that I have? Nope. I suppose this. is fine. And then I guess this is fine. A little bit higher cost, but all right. Should we try out the warrior deck? I guess we will. Oh, hey dude, how you doing? I am doing well. I'm spending too much time thinking about how we need to edit the Hex video, if I'm being quite honest. So a little bit of update on this Hex video that is going to be coming out in the near future, fingers crossed. It's like 33 minutes long, and it needs not only to have some more animations to keep it a little bit more entertaining, but I think a lot of the content needs to be cut down. I watched through it last night with my partner, and she made some edits, you know, like moving some of the content around so that it flows a little bit more easily, and then she made the suggestion of just speeding up the things that Richard Hart says, because Richard Hart always speaks so slowly, and like she just finds him boring. I find him fascinating, so maybe it's good to get like this sort of outsider perspective of what that video looks like. But yeah, there are just yet more edits, and because it's such a long video, you know, I think I'm going to directly have to cut some of it on my laptop and then send it back to my editor, so on and so forth. So there's just still work to be done. But in the meantime, let's see if we can't get... and actually, you know what? I'm so close to Mythic at this point, I feel like I should just go with this deck that we've, you know, been working on. And if I fall back, then I will switch over to the Warrior deck. But for now, we're going to do this Nature deck. And I imagine that people will have deranked, and we're going to hit some very expensive decks. And so, you know what? Let's bring back up the counter. So this is last week, the cost of the decks we won against versus the cost of the decks that we lost against. So we're going to keep everything at 0-0. And then we're going to take the win count back to 0-0 as well. This was our final win count at the end of the week last week. And so let's see. Let's see where we end up this week. Okay, a little bit too high a cost. This is a fine starting hand, I think. We're going second, which kind of sucks, but, you know, take what you can get, I suppose. So they don't have this, which means I think this might make more sense as a play, but I actually think I'm going to put out the 2/1/1s because I'm afraid of Canopy Barrage. It is good that they had to manage him that out. That's not good. That is very bad. So we're going to hope to kill this. Oh, looks like we're back in this place where they've spent money. Okay, all right. And yeah, because this missed, we now are sort of fucked. This card is actually going to get nerfed. I would have picked it up if MoonPay had either authorized me, or if I had been able to if I had gotten Gods tokens this week. But because neither of those things happened, I ended up not being able to pick up this or another one of the giant pangolins, which is why we're still playing with a free-to-play deck. Which is a little annoying, but, you know, it is what it is. So let's see here. What do we want to open up? We want to open up a few decks. Oh, fuck me. All right, so we again want to kill this. We don't really have a choice to do anything other than kill it. Whew! All right, so... All right, and now, still fucked, but less fucked than we were. Hopefully. Okay, so I'm just looking up our where we are right now. So this is the beginning of our weekend ranked. We haven't played any games. I think I played 2 games over the course of the week, but you know, not much. And yeah, so we'll be able to track what we've played. You know, what cards have been working for us and what haven't in the next, you know, over the course of these couple of games. All right, so can't do much other than just hero power and throw this out. You know. Oh, yeah. This is another card that we would have picked up if we had been able to spend any money on the game. And they have a very good version of it. Again, not much to do. That's lucky, but not lucky enough, unfortunately. Next turn, we'll be able to play this, but by that time, we will almost be dead. So, you know, a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. Yeah, and this is a combination of like both going second and just, you know, not having bought any cards. Yeah, well. It's how the cookie crumbles, I suppose. So now this can kill this, or he can do 9 damage to face. Okay, probably. And yeah, I think we're just kind of fucked. Kind of fucked. Ho ho! Yep, big fucked. Big fucked energy. All right. Well, that's that. Yep. All right. Well done, buddy. It's kind of why I wanted to buy some ETH on like Immutable X before this, is because it's just really, really frustrating, as you will begin to see, to play against people who have literally spent any money. And I think that person actually spent quite a bit of money. You notice they had like shadow cards and you know, some legendaries and everything like that. So I mean, the cost of that deck is not incredibly high, probably now even less, like $200 or something like that, but still $200 is a pretty high barrier to entry. And you know, the difference between a free-to-play deck and a deck that literally spends any money is vast. So, you know, playing with that example might have been better, but oh well. All right, so we are again going second, this time against a warrior. Same sort of strategy. All of these decks that we're playing are sort of rush decks, and so we want to be in control of the early board. So I'm going to get rid of that, because that doesn't help us get control of the early board. This is possible. I want a different 1-drop, really. And we didn't get it. At least not yet. Yeah, so that's not good. So we're likely not going to have control of the early board. And I'm just going to pass here, play this turn 3, or turn 2 rather. It's good that they pass, which means they don't have a 1-drop, but I don't know, that scares me, because what kind of warrior deck doesn't run enough 1-drops to play? I mean, I suppose they might be waiting. There might be a more reactive deck. Yeah. So at this point, they realize they just sort of need to get something on the board. All right. And we're going to try and buff this up with this. Another alternative play is these two. If we can, say, clear this and they put down something that has 4 health, or even something close. Okay. Interesting. So just go and face for some reason. I think in that world, yeah, they have... sort of opened us up to being able to take early control of the board. Unless they're waiting on like a carnage sweep, which is possible. Okay. Okay, so now they have 5 mana. Interesting. Ah, I see. Interesting. Okay, so a lot of board clear. I suppose I didn't anticipate this card being what they played, but regardless. And there's a risk I should throw this out, but I'd rather save this pip for the giant pangolin to get that out on the board as fast as possible. Because there's this world where I still have one of these in my hand, and I'm able to buff the giant pangolin, which, you know, would be kind of sick. Also a card that is going to get nerfed in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. So here, I think I do this. And then I guess I just do this. And if he wants to hit me with it, then he can, but I'm not going to go into that because I know I can kill it next turn. Again, I'm playing into sort of a Carnage Sweep. Carnage Sweep clears his board as well, which allows me to just drop the green giant afterwards. There's no possibility of playing the... Okay, that's nasty, obviously. And it means... Yeah, it means I should have done this trade, which kind of sucks. So I need to be able to do 9 damage to this. Which means I have to sacrifice this. And then I also have to sacrifice this. So, congrats. Yeah, I guess I'm just not playing around these buffs in the way that I should be. Interesting. Man. And see, this is what I mean. This card is actually very cheap. So it does not cost a lot to buy. But this is what I mean when I say like the difference between spending literally any money and a free-to-play deck is vast, because this card is very hard to deal with in most free-to-play decks. I think maybe Deception is the only one that deals with this well. No, even Deception doesn't deal with it well because you can't hide a minion. I think you can't hide a minion if you don't do damage to it. I'd have to check on that. But regardless, like a free-to-play deck will just have a hard time with a card like this, and this card is not expensive. It's one of the first cards that you should buy if you spend any money at all in this game. I also think it's not getting nerfed, so it will just remain like that. Interesting. So I wonder if they attack here. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're in an all right place. I don't want to speak too soon, but I believe we're in an all right place. Okay, never mind. We are not in an all right place. This is not a fun place to be in. And this is actually a core card, so I can't complain about how much it costs. But you know, I can complain about the deck in general. This also costs money. That's a very good card. It's one of the cards I was talking about earlier. I would add to a war deck if I had it, or if I had spent any money. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should be, you know, doing a lot more in terms of figuring out how to pay for this game. All right, I'm going to grab this just because it is available and it is a unit. I didn't want to play this because I think that this can be higher value later. It's a charge minion that can clear, say, something a little bit bigger that they're going to put out this turn, you know, theoretically. I also am sitting on the hunt, which, you know, when they go wide, I would like to be able to play the hunt. If they go wide. Okay, so this might be actually the best time to do it. Because this is, it'll do 8 damage, and then this is, you know, 7. So the stats line up. Oh, and let's check and see if we can see how much that last deck was worth. All right, so we're 0-1 so far. First deck was this person, and let's take a look at the deck. 0.2649. So, what is that? About $400? $500? No. If it's at 2,500 right now, that means 0.1 is 250. So yeah, about $600 worth of cards. That's always fun. Oh man, what happened? Seriously, what happened? Just this came out? Cleared our Bronze Servant? Alright. And he played a weapon? Okay. So, I think I just played this. Alright. Wish it had just hit face, but I guess that's fine. Need to control the board. But let's see here. Where were we? Okay. So 0.2649. And we're 0-1. Oh, cool. So they didn't take damage? Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Maybe we'll be saved by this. I seriously doubt it. But maybe the combination of these two cards can get us to a place where we're actually winning. They have one card left. So I don't know what that card could be. They have not used a... Cool. All right, so I think we're in a good spot, actually. We'll do a little bit of this. A little bit of this. And, yeah. They have to pull a lot of, like, face damage in order to kill us at this point. Yep, that could do it. Not quite, though. Well, we'll see, actually, because if this accidentally hits here... Oh, wow. Oh, so they pulled that, and... Oh, because it clears everything. Very close. Very close to beating a deck that we maybe had no business being that close to. But, So we'll see when that comes up how much that was worth. So, starting out good so far. Little 0-2 action. All right. So, because we've just lost so much of that ranking, I guess it's time to go and try this deck. I think Fury is not the right card we need. We need Vicious Rend. Everything else seems fine. I mean, like, we're just going to sort of, like, live and die by our early game board control. I mean, much the same way that the nature deck functions. By the way, if you have any questions, please throw them in chat. I don't know if, like, you know, if you know, you're interested in asking any questions about cryptocurrency in general or about the game. You know, I'm here to talk. Here to talk about Hex and ETH and why everything's dumping right now. If you really want to know, but you have to ask. All right, so we're playing a death deck. We're going second again because awesome. Why not? Okay, that's fine. Interesting. So I think here we, again, just sort of want control of the early board. And it looks like, this looks like a free-to-play deck. No, never mind. I don't know why you would have a, it could be, I guess. I don't know why you would have a meteorite version of this wild card. Oh, never mind. So here, again, another like not this is not actually as good as the other taunt minion that we were looking at earlier. This minion is again very cost effective. It's a very cheap card, but it does a lot of damage to free to play decks because it's just hard to deal with armor as a free to play deck. We luckily have something to deal with it, so you know. This can't attack, which is nice. He could theoretically kill this minion with their hero power. Huh. Alright. Alright, cool. So we are going to just kill this. Kill this. And hopefully go face. Go face, please. Oh. Well, we tried. We tried our best. It's a problem with confused minions. Sometimes they just don't hit what you need them to. Start of your next turn, choose and obliterate a card in your hand, then summon this creature from the void. Interesting. Weird card. I think I just play this. And just go face. Try and build up a little bit more favor, so that I can eventually get to this fellow right here, which would be quite helpful. Oh, that's not fun. All right. Well, not much to do. That's okay. Although I am not going to play it yet just because this kills it for free. I'm also going to keep the protected up on this because I don't want this to kill it for free. Huh. Interesting. So I think this is a free-to-play deck just because all the cards they're playing are so bad. So we stand a chance, folks. We could potentially take this one. Not incredibly likely, but hey, I mean that helps. All right, do a little bit of face damage. Yep, okay. So they're just going to keep on summoning this, right? Like this just keeps coming back. And there's not really a good way to deal with it. What card did they obliterate? I guess we can't see the obliterated cards. So next turn we can play this, but this dies to this every time. So not really sure what is to be done. Huh. Like, how do you deal with this outside of having a like a transformation spell or something like that? Oh, and this is just gonna, yeah. Why is this meteorite? I don't understand. It's a card you get for free. Why would you ever get a meteorite version of it? Oh well. Like, I think I just have to play this. And it's just, you know, it's just gonna die. Which is fine, I guess. Like, I just kill this and then it comes back. So, all right. Good. Glad to see you. Oh, no. Okay, they spent money. Well, I'm just going to call this one another L. Now, I don't know if this has more to do with the fact that I'm playing a bad deck because I'm very poor, or if this has to do with the fact that I'm going second every time. I think there's probably some overlap. But, you know, who knows? We got new cards, so hopefully they'll be helpful. Nope. Okay. Let's jump back in. Let's see if we can go first this time. All right. So I'm unsure. I'm just going to hold to cancel. Update this. And let's see if we can't find another game. There should be music in this stream, should there not? Ah! Entirely too loud. There we go. All right, some lo-fi beats to chill and study to. All right, so, okay. I'd rather have something other than that. So this is a zombie deck, most likely. It's probably going to be kind of annoying for us. Not too annoying, though. All right. All right. So we'll play that. Give it protected. And that's nice because it can't be killed by their, like, Blight Bomb spell. Necroceptor? Yep. So I have to kill it with my weapon, I think. And I'm just going to pull another card. Do I kill it with my weapon? I think I'd probably just kill it with this. I think this is the easiest way to do it. Makes use of the most... Oh, and is this bug just like going to chill here now? Cool. Yeah, wow. So again, in the biz, this is what we call the nuts. Because I literally have no way to deal with this. Not no way, I suppose. But no good ways. So I'm going to kill this. I need to get more shit on the board. So okay. So that was that Blight Bomb I was telling you about earlier that they definitely had. Yeah, okay. All right. Honestly, I don't even want to play anymore. I'm gonna, I guess, give this +2/+1. And then, all right. Another Decaying Rhino. Cool. So yeah, like I said, the nuts. Both 3 mana cost cards you need. 2 of the strongest 4 mana cost cards in the game. Oh, this guy. All right, so and yeah, there's just not much to be done. You know, this yeah, can't compete with it. Yeah, my deck cannot compete with decks that literally make any sense at all. Unfortunately. Well, this would have been great last turn. Maybe it's still not terrible. I think I still lose. But I lose by less than I would have? Oh, we'll see. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that right now is the time to be buying cards, especially as like the price of ETH tanks. I don't know whether or not it makes the most sense to buy them in ETH versus like Gods or USDC. That's something I'd be interested to know what your opinion on that is. And also, like I tried to sign up for MoonPay today, but because my driver's license has a different address than my like legal residence, they just wouldn't let me sign up. So, um, you know, I guess I'm like just sort of out of the market right now. Okay, this one got out of hand too fast. They got too perfect of a draw. Happens sometimes. I guess I'll switch back to the nature free to play. Um, just because this like war free to play is like not doing it for me, and I do have one Do card that's worth playing in the nature deck. But I'm playing against a lot of pretty expensive decks. In fact, I probably need to update uh, the value count. Well, congratulations to you. Like I said, I tried to. I mean, like I could bridge in ETH, but and maybe it makes sense. Maybe like the return on it, like still makes sense. But having to like figure out all that stuff with MoonPay is just like a little bit annoying. Okay, so let's see here. Let's add up the cost of some of these decks that we've lost to. So the Warrior deck we lost to earlier, pretty, not that expensive actually. So looking specifically at this one, 0.017, which brings the value of our losses up to 0.017 is 167.8. Okay, and then we also lost to this deck, 0.0153. So also not super expensive. I think it may be like a free-to-play deck. But it's got some pretty pricey cards in here. Like, clearly some money was spent. Still waiting? Okay. So 0.0153. Yeah, I mean, what even is the gas fee right now? Like, what is 167? Yeah, it's pretty high. I don't know what that would mean in terms of the price of the bridge, because I don't know how many, like, what the bridge costs actually are. This zombie death 0.0278. You know, more than nothing, but not a ton. Also, like, yeah, not a super valuable deck, but pulling this and this in your starting hand, nasty, man. And I guess that's the point of this deck, is to get that engine going. And if people don't have answers to it, you just sort of like pile on with things like the Decaying Rhino. But what is this? 0.0278. So that brings the total value up to 7 plus 7 is 14 is 15. 0. Oh no, this is 2. 3. So we've lost to quite a bit of value in terms of decks. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I that's why I wanted to bridge over. Or I mean, I'm sorry. That's why I wanted to use MoonPay, because it's like a direct layer 2 bridge. By the way, Monty Vaughn, do you happen to know of other like direct to layer 2 buying solutions? Because I know like I did a video not too long ago on Dharma and how you can like buy directly on Polygon, but then Dharma sold to OpenSea, and so now they're like shutting down their like direct to Polygon like fiat to crypto gateway. I know you can withdraw to Arbitrum on Binance, but I'm looking for other options to like buy directly onto ETH layer 2s, so you don't have to pay like the bridging costs of pulling tokens over. And I just don't know of any others. I mean, like, I've been doing some like cursory research on it. MoonPay looks like an option, obviously, for Immutable X, but I don't know what some of the other options might be. Did I switch over my deck? Yeah, I think I did. Okay. All right. So going second again. This means that we've gone second in 4 out of our 5 matches so far. I don't mind hanging on to this hand. I think I get rid of this just because... Okay, yeah, that's better. Early board control is important against the light decks, so... Oh no, we're playing a deck with Genesis cards. Not only does it have Genesis cards, my guess is this is an order deck. Okay. A little annoying. Because I cannot... do I try here? If I try... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because he probably kills here anyway. Alright. Yeah, alright. 27.92 to transfer, to bridge over. Yeah. Yeah, and so that's the thing. It's like I haven't got a chance to try out MoonPay yet, but I cannot imagine that the fees for like buying on MoonPay are higher than that. Like that would be preposterous to me. Oh, so we are in a really bad place. I think this is the only option at this point. And it's really because of this ward. Like if the ward were not there, we would have either been able to Canopy Barrage it initially on turn 2 or be able to pick it off with this turn. But, you know, given that we cannot... Yeah, I guess just... And now this trade's here. Oh, man. I don't know if, like... I like honestly at this point, I'm not even sure it's worth playing free to play at all. Because like, yeah, like look at this. We're playing against Trial Genesis cards, and it's just like, this is we just have no chance. There's no chance at all against a deck like this. Period. End of sentence. I mean, I guess maybe some chance, but like, oh, it is not good. Like, watch this. Gonna hit here. Yeah. Oh, that was lucky though. I did call it though. So, we get to play the Green Giant next turn, which is fine. It is so far not looking like an order deck. It's just looking like a, expensive buff deck, which again got the Meteorite wild card for some reason. I suppose because of the rarity thing? All right. Yeah, and so here, just, we could do that. And that can get us somewhere, maybe. Assuming they don't have a way to deal with it, but I highly doubt that they don't have a way to deal with it. They could do 4 damage here. Weird card. Okay. And then these two? Or do they just do that? Oh. Oh, they just got another Master of Indulgences. Yeah. Okay. Like, I am getting depressed playing this deck. Actively getting depressed. Man. All right. Let's keep going. Let's try and win a game. But like, yeah, to me it is not incredibly fun to just look at what these cards cost every time. Like, just like to get the shit beat out of me by a deck that costs like $500, and then just like look at how much it costs to beat me. And that's the whole like idea of this experiment, is that like, okay, it's possible to play as a free-to-play player. And I think what I'm learning is it is just not. It is a lie to say that it is possible to play as a free-to-play player. All right. All right, we're starting in a good place, but I fully expect them to have the nuts over the next 2 turns. Oh, wow. I think this also counts as the nuts. But who knows? Maybe I'll be able to kill them fast enough that it won't matter. Because this is like pretty slow, and if they can't, it also will only kill things. No, it'll kill anything, I think. All right. So yeah, I just need to pick up as much face damage as possible. And then, yeah, just do this, do this. And I'll pick this up just because I don't want them to like heal themselves. And I want to search for other cards. So, all things remaining the same, they die next turn. So, here. And hey. Oh, look at us. Never mind. Remember all that shit I was saying earlier about how I was depressed playing this game? No, love it. My God, dude. So, can I ask a question to the chat? Can you still see that message that says, bro, just go website and jerk off? Can everyone still see that? Or is it now hidden on the channel? All right, the Zoo Light deck, by the way, that beat us was 0.0672, which honestly is much lower than I thought it was going to be, because these cards are like pretty expensive. I mean, 0.06 is still what, like $150, give or take, right now at the current value of ETH. So, you know, nothing to shake a stick at, but let's see here. So that adds 0.0672 to, no. All right. And then we just beat a deck. Okay, going second again, which I don't love. But I think what I learned is that I need more, removal. But I can't really add more removal. So, all right, so we beat this death deck. That costs nothing. Yeah, so this is a free-to-play deck, more or less. 0.0046. All right, and here we are. Interesting. I guess I just throw that out. Wild. Okay. So they're gonna have probably a lot of other order stuff. I guess it's fine that this didn't really get going, but there's gonna be other things that I'm gonna have to deal with that I just at this point don't really have ways to deal with. So this attack will decide whether or not I put out the Rhino. Yeah. Okay. So Rhino goes out. Yeah, I mean, second is just a harder position to be in than going first generally, which is why they compensate you with so much like extra, with 3 mana gems instead of just playing with 1. But, even so, it's not like the easiest thing in the world. But yeah, I don't know. I don't tend to get the worst cards, but... Alright, so I'm going to kill this first. Alright, and then we sort of just have to rush at this point because this is going to get out of hand fast. Okay. So does this attack go here and then they use their hero power? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So that's a pretty good clear. I think I try and clear this. Okay. And then, yeah, I can pick this up and clear that. And then next turn, the pangolin comes out. So hopefully I can deal with whatever they play this turn with that. And then hopefully I draw something else that can go out. Weird. Weird. Are they not going to use it? Oh, that's wild. Well, in that case, I'm not going to play the pangolin. Because I don't want it to just die to this. Which it would, because armor, it only has 2 armor. Weird. I don't really get what their plan is. So, especially given that I can do this. Why would they just sit on that for so long? All right. Okay. All right. So that's a bug, I believe, a known bug where it takes it checks the damage twice, and luckily that was not enough to kill it. And yeah, this is gonna be sad for them if they don't put anything else out. Because it does suck to have a 9-cost charging Oryx in my hand, but, you know. So this is a 50-50 to win the game. I don't know if it's worth it. I guess I don't really know what they do if they don't kill it. The alternative is to just play this, and like, this kills this for free. You know, I guess I then get to see what it is they have in their hand to deal with it. Fun. See, and this is what I'm saying. That's a free-to-play deck for sure. Like, oh no, this is the last one. So, it was a deception deck. But yeah, it was clearly a free-to-play deception deck. And whether or not that person was good, I mean, they weren't. But, you know, there's just nothing too crazy to deal with. Whereas, yeah, I think just spending any money is the key to winning at this game. So that puts us at 2 and 5, right? All right, getting some rewards. I think the point I'm trying to make is that, like, it is I mean it's the thing that I just keep on saying. I mean, maybe it doesn't make sense, maybe it's just me being like super salty, but this idea that literally paying for any cards, like, it is just not practical to play as a free-to-play player, I don't think, in this game. Like, I think they say play to earn, and I think that doesn't make a ton of sense. No, 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 no. I mean, like, yeah, no. I mean, I completely agree. I think that's the model for card games. It's just like, um, I don't know. I think that people say play to earn, right? And it's not true without at least some initial investment. I mean, it's like Axie Infinity, right? Like, Axie Infinity was a little ridiculous because the initial investment required was so great in order to generate any revenue. Um, and I think the barrier to entry with this game is much lower, which I do appreciate. But it's not nothing, you know. So yeah, maybe it is just me being salty. Certainly it is just me being salty, but you know, whatever. Let me be salty, bro. I also do think it puts it like sort of in context, just um, like how preposterous the amount of money we have and have been willing to spend on a lot of these like crypto projects. Like, this is, when you think about it, like, this is sort of an NFT thing. It's like Bored Apes, you know. The community is just different, and what you do with your NFTs is also different. And I think it's an NFT scheme that makes a lot more sense. I say scheme, not saying that I think it's a scam, but like, just, you know, um, scheme in sort of a general sense, not a negative sense. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Does it make sense, more sense to play this? What do they play next turn? Next turn is turn 4. So that rush minion actually makes a fair amount of sense. I don't end up making a lot of sense with any of these plays. Except, I guess, this one? Allows me to clear? Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that that analysis is correct. That there should have been more time to play. Like, Demogorgon being the way it is right now, Pyramid Warden being the way it is right now, and being, you know, immune to any sort of nerfs is, I think, a problem. I don't think that's I don't think that's healthy. All right, so let's win this 50-50. Okay, we didn't win the 50-50, but we lost it in a way that was not terrible. Can we win another 50-50? Ooh, so we can. All right, let's throw this out. And then I'm actually going to give it health, I think. No. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to give it health. If they choose to clear this, then it means that they're leaving something over here on the board. I'm not afraid of Carnage Sweep. I am afraid of Soul Survivor, but Soul Survivor isn't until next turn, so I'm going to be doing a lot of trading down next turn. Making sure that the board is clear. The priority is a clear board, because Soul Survivor will just wreck me if the board's not clear. Is that what they're playing for? Interesting. That makes me think that they have a Carnage Sweep. All right. So like I said, the priority here is to clear minions. Okay? So this here. And that there. And then I just sort of have to wait. I'm going to foresee, just because, again, I'm afraid of like a big board clear. Like they could have Carnage Sweep, which would sort of destroy me. And I would like to be able to repopulate the board. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So is there a better way to do this? I do not think there is. Okay. Keeping control of the board. So what would a remint of, what do you mean by that? Like remint Genesis 2nd edition, what would that look like? Would they, are you saying there would be like 2 different versions of each card? Or are you saying, oh, they need to increase the supply by making them 2nd edition cards like you would do with like a Magic the Gathering or something like that? That makes sense to me. Yeah, I can jive with that. So theoretically, like, you know, they'd be just as playable, but they would have less collectible value. I mean, it would certainly drive down the price of the Genesis cards, and would maybe make quite a few people angry in the process. But yeah, you know, it could work. All right. All right, we're making progress. I really just want to get Mythic with this deck to say that I did free-to-play Mythic. It's like really a pride thing for me at this point. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, like, so this YouTube channel, by the way, is we're thinking about, transitioning into a DAO structure in the very near future. And so, like, we're talking about, like, what it means to give power based on, like, contribution and reputation rather than allowing people to convert capital straight up into power. And so, like, it is something, that's something that we're actively trying to do in our community is, like, not is you want new people to be able to join, and you don't want them to be penalized for like not having heard about it from the very very beginning. So I agree. Like, even though technically I was an early adopter, I prefer to have this sort of community that exists that does not just like prioritize the fact that you knew about it a long time ago. I like, as much as like those people of course should be rewarded, they're being rewarded now. Oh, fuck me. Speak of the goddamn devil. Yeah, and that's the thing. Dude, I honestly think this card just needs to be nerfed. Like, fuck, like, Genesis, whatever, like, that card needs to be nerfed. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, the stats, like, it's just poor design, right? Because like I guess it like becomes a liability later in the game, but like early game, there's just nothing to be done against this card. And two of them too. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Two Pyramid Wardens. Oh my god. And that card's incredible too. There is no replacing this card. Yeah. Yeah, man. And I guess this is sort of the point, is like, it's so fucking it's so fucking annoying to play against just a deck like this. A deck that spent even a couple $100. Like, and I don't think it's like demonstrably better than a deck that, you spend like $60, but like it is a lot better than a deck where you spend $60. It's a lot harder to beat, but it is impossible to beat this deck as a free-to-play player. Yeah. Can you send cards directly to people? I'll put it in the chat if you want. But also, I mean, I would appreciate it. I'll throw it in there if you want to send them to me. But like, but part of this experiment is this is an explicitly free to play deck, and so like, I haven't invested anything in this this deck. Oh, okay, all right, or in this account at all, and I don't know. Eventually, I will transition to an account where I have spent money, but I'm, to be honest, I'm trying like not to game the system right now, and get rewards on two different accounts, and so yeah. End of the day, don't send it here because this account is only on this computer, and is not meant to be monetized in any way other than for the purpose of like making tutorial YouTube videos, right? Because I don't want to be like stealing God's tokens on two different accounts, right, to double my gains, right? If it any like especially during this like event, this account is meant to demonstrate that you can play free to play, and it's doing a very bad job at demonstrating that. So like yeah, I have cards that are worth playing. They're just not in this account. And I know, don't tell on me because I know it's like technically against the rules. But again, like I reached out to them and gave them a vague idea. They were like, "Hey, it's against policy to play on the same account on the same computer." And I just like figured, okay, they probably won't ban me as long as one, I'm not like switching between accounts on the same computer, and I'm not trying to like double up rewards. Like if I was playing weekend ranked on this account and on a different account and like trying to get the like the gods tokens on two accounts, then I think that would be sort of against their policy. But in the vaguest sense. But I figure as long as I'm just like keeping them separated, not trying to game the system, like I should be okay. I'm gonna slam this out just because like it's better to have something on the board than not. And a 1-3 is a little bit harder for them to deal with. Yeah, no, I have heard of it, and you're right. I think it's a DO card. So yeah, again, like it would be something that I would run in this deck, and yeah, it does counter Pyramid Warden pretty well. But the problem is like it doesn't punish Pyramid Warden, because in that world where you're able to play it pretty early, you typically still don't have minions in your void. And so you just like, you're just like chilling there, no minions in your void. You don't get anything for killing it. So you have something that you can deal with it with, but it doesn't reward you in the way that it should. Like playing a card with those stats 2/6 that early should have a cost, and they just don't have a cost. In its current iteration, there's just no cost for playing it because Pyramid Warden, because playing it so early is just better. Fuck, dude. Yeah, this is a bad hand. Possibly just because they were able to clear everything. It's a ramp deck, so I gotta go fast. So it means I just need to put something out. And hope that they can't kill it. Yeah. All right, so this is a ramp deck, which means I need to be on the lookout for sort of like board clears. Like the 5-cost board clear is going to do 2 damage across the board, which means I either need to wait for it to come out before I play the Blade Fly, or I just need to like sort of not play the Blade Fly. This is fine, we can deal with that. That's cool. I think I'm going to wait and try and pick this up because, again, we just need to go fast. Like, at 7, they'll be able to clear all this. Like, yeah, see? Crystal Rain doesn't do much for him right here. So I think that means next turn I play this because they may not have a way of dealing with it. But I don't, it's risky because they could have a second one in hand. Seems unlikely, but it's possible. But you know what? I don't think a lot of the other plays make a lot of sense. And it still leaves this on board. So, oh shit, I should pick that up. Okay, that's not good. So, I have not played Hearthstone in a long time. I would like to. It's like I loved Hearthstone when I was playing it. But for me, it's just like it just doesn't make as much sense because it doesn't pay me money. Like I don't get like the idea of owning the collectible cards. Like it's probably a funner game. Like I think Hearthstone. I haven't played in many years. Used to play quite a bit. I think it is more fun in a very general sense. So, by the way, here he's about to be at 7 mana, so I'm not going to put this out just for fear of that like sort of big board clear. I can't remember what it's called, but saving what I can to play when I must. But yeah, I mean, like, Hearthstone is a lot of fun, and I think it's probably more fun. I think that they've had a lot more time to develop and balance the game, which is part of why it's more fun. But that said, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I suppose I just play this. And then I'll give him a bunch of these. Just because I don't want a board clear to take out everything. And this has overkill, so there's still some value in taking out some health. Does he have a clear? Can they fully clear it? Huh. Speak of the devil. But yeah, I like, you know, I like the ability to trade cards back and forth. And so that's something that I tend to value. And the fact that like my collection doesn't go away, you know, that's pretty cool. All right. And then I think this might be too slow, but I think it's okay, especially if I pick this up. And they don't have a way to get rid of my weapon. That would be nice. Yeah. I just don't think we went fast enough, unfortunately. Oh, this was dumb. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that the game will continue to grow. Certainly, I think that the game will continue to grow, and I think that it will do well in a world in which it grows quite a bit more. I didn't play any of this correctly, largely because I just, you know, I think we didn't go fast enough, and once this came down, we just don't have a way of dealing with it outside of drawing into a either the giant pangolin or the oryx, the charging oryx, and so yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I feel much the same way, where it's like, you know, what are you doing, you know? I suppose I have to hit here. And then here, here. Yeah, so, no, we're dead because of this. Yeah. Okay. So, largely free-to-play deck again. You know, nothing too crazy in this deck. We just didn't go fast enough. But yeah, I agree. I think the ownership components are like big, important parts of it to me. Okay. Well, at this point, I kind of want to take a break. And I also am just, like I said, sort of frustrated playing this free to play deck. And I think, like I said, I'm locked into playing only one account per week. So I don't want to like switch accounts. And maybe next week I'll switch to like my main account, delete all these videos so like Gods Unchained doesn't ban me. Um, but. But yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting experiment. I don't know if it's worth spending any more money on right now instead of just like estimating the cost of like budget decks and then playing with those budget decks, even though I have more expensive decks I could play. Um, and then making videos on that. I mean, I don't know. It's certainly something to consider. But outside of this, what were the other questions I was asking? I was trying to figure out. So MoonPay, it looks like, is the way to do direct to L2 investments. Arbitrum, Optimism, is there a like... Only pay for your cards, what do you mean? Like, you don't buy packs? You just buy like the cards to make your decks. Okay, so this is the Optimism Bridge. Hmm. Meaning what? Was it not like profitable to buy uh, Yu-Gi-Oh packs? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, tend to agree. Did Yu-Gi-Oh give you free packs? I thought you had to like buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm not very familiar, I will say. I did not play Yu-Gi-Oh. I started playing trading card games with Hearthstone a while back, and then I got into Magic. Weirdly enough, I guess I started with Pokemon like in the '90s, but like really started with Hearthstone, and then I got into Magic like after Hearthstone. Oddly enough, when Magic released its like whatever its game client was, the online game client, and by that time I had already like I think discovered. No, I don't think I had quite discovered. Like maybe Gods Unchained wasn't quite there yet, and I discovered it shortly thereafter. Um, but but yeah, this idea of like Magic didn't make any sense to me because I was like there was this difference between like I would go to a game shop where they would have live pack openings and everything like that, where they would do like the draft sort of thing where like everybody gets like something like 6 packs and you open one and you pick a card and then you pass the deck and everybody like makes a deck by just like picking a card from each of these decks that everybody's opening. And I enjoyed that, but then I like would go back to the online game and I was like I just don't own any of these cards. And so like that's why when like Gods Unchained came around I was like, oh, this makes a ton of sense. Like of course having digital ownership of your cards makes a digital, and it's like just more fun and much easier to play a digital card game rather than having to go to a game shop, sit down with a bunch of people that you don't know and share their space and their air or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. It's funny, like, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this than maybe I should admit live, but I bought like a couple of packs not too long ago, Gods Unchained packs, and I got a diamond giant pangolin, and I'm realizing now like maybe I should have just sold it immediately because the giant pangolin is getting nerfed. and that I got it before the nerf announcement, and maybe I should have expected that that it was going to get nerfed because it is just such a powerful card. But like, I don't know, still sitting in my deck. Okay, transact directly onto Arbitrum. Interesting. So transact is how you get onto Optimism. I think I'm going to start taking some notes. So this is the next video I'm making, by the way, or at least the next thing I'm sort of working on is an explanation of like layer 2s. Well, okay, yeah, easy to say in retrospect, but also like I was expecting the giant pangolin to retain a little bit of its value, and I expect like shiny cards to go up in value when they introduced incentives for having shiny cards at all. And it's a diamond card. I did sell a couple of diamond cards, like I sold a diamond Anubian Redeemer, which is like not an incredible card, but also did just get announced that it's getting buffed. Still, I don't think a great card. It's like a 5-cost light card that gets +1/+1 every turn, once a turn, every time or if an ally dies. So like the triggering effect is not that great. It doesn't ramp really particularly well. It's like already pretty high cost, and they're just like upping the stats on it. But I don't know. I got 2 fucking diamond Anubian Redeemers for some reason. No, all layer 2 systems are disconnected. They are all different systems. So actually Immutable and Polygon. So right now, like again, this is sort of what I'm thinking about right now. These are called the optimistic roll-ups, Optimus and Arbitrum. The ZK roll-ups, Loopring, ZK Sync, and I think Immutable is based on Starkware. So I don't know actually what, I think that's a ZK rollup, but I don't know for sure. And then Polygon is a sidechain. So no, they are all separate ecosystems, and you can bridge assets between them theoretically, but like there are like some solutions coming for that, but like bridging between roll-up ecosystems is not necessarily the most secure thing in the world. So ideally what people will do is move like a certain portion of their money. Like I think the way that Immutable X is set up with Gods Unchained is actually really smart, because like you can use MoonPay, you can get your money into Immutable X, and then that money is like in Immutable X, it's in the game, right? Like you can buy assets for different games that are hosted in that ecosystem, but it's a game-based like, you know, roll-up. It's a game-based layer 2. And so, you know, you can mint for very low cost, you can transact for very low cost, you can do swaps for very low cost, but like it's not a generalizable layer 2 where you're not going to get like Uniswap's not going to deploy on Immutable X. And so you get people's money into this game, the money starts moving around in that same ecosystem for very low cost, very low fees, and then if people want to get out, they can bridge it out. It's going to cost them money to get to like the layer 1, but that's a system that like makes sense to me, and I think they're very smart for doing it. Well, you have a Immutable X layer 2 wallet. Like when you think about it, it's like all of these. When you think about your wallet is a public private key pair, and so the public key, like I have, for instance, let me bring this over. I have, for instance, this like MetaMask, right? And let's go to, you know, this is my public account, right? And so this is my public account that has like my ENS domains and everything like that. You know, like you can see like my public assets and things like that. But on the Ethereum mainnet, it has a certain balance, right? And then on Polygon, it has a different balance. And actually, there should be wrapped ETH here. So let's go to where is wrapped ETH? How do I not know this? I guess I can look it up like this. So this is the same account, but this is the account on the Polygon chain. And you'll see on the Polygon chain, there's wrapped ETH, right? There's also an unstoppable domains like NFT. And so within this ecosystem, this is what this address looks like. In the same way that, like, if you were to look at the wallet that contained my main like NFT, like my main Gods Unchained account, if you look at it on Etherscan, you don't see any of the Immutable X assets. I actually think maybe they are there because I have some of the Genesis assets, and I think they're still minted on the main chain. But it's neither here nor there. The point is that looking at it on the main chain, you don't see all the cards. It's not until you look using an Immutable X wallet, which is what marketplace.immutable.x is. So like this is an Immutable X wallet, right? It's a way of like looking at your wallet through the eyes of what Immutable X sees. And so you can see your inventory based on like what Immutable X sees. But so this is like this account, right? Like because these are the packs that I got for playing the weekend ranked. That's not, I'm gonna go back to the main net. That's this account here. But if I look at it on Etherscan, you don't see any of that shit, right? None of it's there. There's nothing in this wallet. The only thing that's in this wallet exists in the Immutable X space, and so that's why you can see it here. It's why you can see it on places like Token Trove, because Token Trove technically is an Immutable X wallet. Like it's you know, you have to authorize, like it's a DApp, you know, it's a decentralized application, but it is a way of interacting with your wallet. Look at this. Guess I'll cancel this. Maybe it makes sense to just like sell all these cards to try and like consolidate them down to oh. Okay. So I'm going to try and sell this card. In fact, I'm going to try and sell like basically everything. Everything that I wouldn't want to use in a deck. Like this doesn't make any sense. Nobody wants it. But we'll see. We'll see if we can't sneak one out of here. Like I said, you know, Token Trove, you know, it's like nothing across all chains, although it would be possible to view your assets across chains. And so like that's possible for someone to build something like that. You know, a way to view all entries all at once. It's just like, I think a lot of the infrastructure is pretty siloed right now. So they all exist within their own sort of ecosystems, and people haven't built those like cross-chain watching, the like infrastructure for cross-chain watching of assets yet. I mean, certainly something might exist, and maybe something's built something about it, because people are building shit all the time. So I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I don't know of anything off the top of my head that exists like that. Okay, maybe I get rid of this because it's like fairly valuable, you know, more valuable than a lot of the other things that I have. Yeah, and maybe I just don't care about making a light deck on this account. Random 1 damage doesn't seem incredible. Okay, this is getting buffed actually, which is maybe why it's like gone up so much in value, but I don't know how it's getting buffed. I'll wait. All right. Yeah, let's see if we can get literally any ETH to buy new cards. Chariot? This one? Alright, I'll cancel it. You know what? I trust you. I trust that you wouldn't steer me wrong on this. I mean, maybe that's why you see this jump in price. Although, I guess that was 3 days ago, and 3 days ago is before they announced. Alright. This, I believe, is also getting a buff. I don't know. Okay. Alright, so this I'm going to sell because I don't know. It's not a bad card, but again, trying to consolidate down to get cards for the deck that I'm playing. Which means, yep, not a bad card again, but I just, don't care about building a light. Like, I feel like light decks, maybe they're not the most expensive ones to build in the world, but it just feels like you have to have some, there are some pretty core Genesis cards to building light decks. Yeah. Alright, I think everything else can stay. This feels like a really good card, but it's a win more card. You have to already be winning, I think, to make that card make sense. And it's so late that, it doesn't make sense for a lot of the very quick decks that I've been playing. Alright. Wow. So, got some sales. Wow. Yeah. And that's one of the, I mean, there are ways to replace the Highborn Knight, but, not good ones. And I think there are a couple of other, really essential cards. Okay, so let's see here. What do I have? 0.000033. Are there cards that are less than 0.000033? Nothing I really want. A Nubian Redeemer. Well, I sold stuff that, that exists at, the very low end of, I assume it was just bots, buying this sort of stuff up. And to try and, arbitrage. Maybe, the Gods market or something like that. But yeah, we're talking about fractions of a penny that I just sold very quickly. Are there any good cards? Any cards I would want to pick up. Let's arrange them from high to low. Huh. Okay. Ravenous Chimera is a card that might be worth picking up. But none of these are like the essential Divine Order cards. None of them really do anything for my deck right now. Nope. Alright, well, I guess I'll just wait. So, wait, so that card is getting a buff, but the Chariot is getting a buff, but is it, like, going to be playable? I guess I'd have to check the Discord to see what the buff is. You think so? Why do you think that? Like, I am of the opinion that Divine Order cards, like, I tend to agree that they might go up over time, but I think that they will arrive at sort of a, you know, like, how much is the barrier to entry, and how, you know, like, there are just so many cards of these Divine Order cards, like 66,000, right, of these common cards, 28,000 rares, and, you know, I guess that's true. Does that mean that the cost of, like, Genesis cards go, like, through the roof? I guess that makes a lot of sense in your, when you say, like, maybe we should do a second edition Genesis card release. I mean, you know, that's the thing. It's like this company can basically just print money. So here's a good question. Do you think it's a better investment from a purely, like, return on investment standpoint to buy cards or to buy Gods tokens? To buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, okay. You are probably correct that it is that the actual answer to this is buy, like, Bitcoin or Ethereum. But I'm saying if you're talking, like, in this specific scenario where we say cards or Gods token, which will appreciate faster, you say high value cards. Okay. I assume you're saying high value cards, or are you just saying cards in general? Because if you're saying cards in general, then why does it not make sense just to buy DO packs? You know, because you're just going to get random cards, you know, like that could not get. I think we're done with the buff phase. So I guess in that world, it makes more sense to just buy cards you know will be valuable. So does that mean that you hoard cards then? So do you start buying, like, a lot of copies of high value cards in the DO set, you know, that you think are undervalued right now? I mean, in that world, like, any card will theoretically go way up in value. I mean, maybe the Genesis cards are, like, a little bit closer to their ceiling because, you know, there's only so much volume that can take place when there's so few cards going between so many people. Also, I think it probably, the Gods token itself does not make a ton of sense, given that, like, card sales are not, like, Gods token holders not given money for card sales. I think if they were it would make a lot more sense to hold God's token. Yeah, no, that's solid logic too, because yeah, like point one, yeah, the forge itself. Although those are not immutable, right? Like the parameters that exist around the forge are not immutable. So like if the price goes up too much, they could adjust the forge price. So I don't think that's necessarily like that's not like a hard like an absolute reason why the price of the coin cannot appreciate. Um, but but I do think that probably makes logical sense that they would want the value of the token to stay relatively low, especially given that the supply is so high and that they give so much of it out for free. Like I was lucky. I'll tell you, I got the airdrop for Gods Unchained, so I got around 700 tokens, 700 Gods tokens so far, and I sold most of them around $4. So I'm actually feeling pretty good about that right now. It's part of the. I mean, it was a genius marketing strategy, because it incentivized me to make Gods Unchained content. Like I am someone who already has a YouTube channel who is making and now I'm like promoting their product, and they didn't pay me directly. They just gave me an airdrop of their thing, and it allowed me to buy a bunch of their cards, because for free, and more or less for free, because they just like gave me the money, and so they injected a bunch of liquidity into their card markets, which allowed them to discover prices, I think, a little bit more efficiently, and then it brought a whole bunch of new people in the promise of like the blessing of the gods event and everything like that. And so like when they move to mobile, I will be interested to see what like card management looks like on mobile. Like, will Token Trove be easy to navigate on mobile? Because I think like when you're involved in like card trading markets, and also I think there needs to be a better like free to play path if you're going to release on mobile. I guess it's like, or you need to be able to like do MoonPay pretty quickly. Maybe an integration with like Rainbow Wallet, which allows you to pay with like Apple Pay, is something that could help a lot. But like either you need some way for people to buy directly onto Immutable X easily, or you need to make the free to play path more attractive. Because like from a business perspective, of course they want new people to play, and then they want them to spend money. And they want them to spend money on new cards, right, ideally, rather than just buying them from other people, although they get a cut every time, a card moves hands. So, maybe they don't care if it's just like a sort of a trading economy, because they found a way to take a cut of that trading economy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do. I don't know if what you're saying is true, that it's inevitable that they will reach like 1 million active users. But I certainly think it's possible. And you're probably right that like cards are the more valuable asset in that world. Well, anyway, on that note, I think I'm going to cut the stream a little bit early, because I did expect this week to be able to buy some cards, and either through MoonPay or after having gotten some like Gods tokens in the Blessing Gods event. But because that's not happening until Monday, I may pick this stream up sometime during the week, and like, or I may come back tomorrow and finish out the weekend ranked event. But like I said, it's sort of hard to get through it when you know that there are better cards, and you can compete with a lot of these decks that people literally paid any money for if you had paid literally any money as well. So yeah, hey Monty, thanks for hanging out, and yeah, I'll see y'all later.